Welcome back to the Mike and Andrew Show. I'm Andrew Serwick here with Mike Meredith. Mike, how are you doing this evening?
Doing good, man.
Got quite a bit to talk about. Thursday night football kicked off not too long ago. Got the Chiefs and the Broncos. We didn't preview this game, but I think we're both in agreement here. We were picking the Bucks, or not the Bucks. The Chiefs. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Denver's just washed, man. Russell Wilson's washed. Yeah, Chiefs should have that one. They're up 3-0 right now.
Yeah, that's it's. I think the Chiefs win this. I think they're like 11-point favorites too. So yeah, like you said, Russ is booty. So Sunday, Lions on the road in Tampa Bay. Detroit's a 3-point favorite in this one. Um, the Bucks are coming off a bye week. Lions coming off a huge statement win last week. I'm gonna take the Lions in this one. I think this is gonna be a very close game. The Bucks have been performing very well, and they're coming off the bye week, so they're gonna be a lot more fresh than the Lions. So yeah, I think the Lions will win this one. I think it's gonna be close. The Lions defense has just been going off, and I think that's gonna give them the big edge in this game.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go with the Lions in a very close game. I think that line of three is like almost perfect. I think it's gonna be a 2-3 point game. I think that's gonna come down to the defense having to step up at the end and putting pressure on Baker Mayfield. Like you said, Tampa's coming off the bye, so they definitely are a lot more fresh. But Detroit's got a lot of momentum right now. I'm gonna roll with that Detroit momentum with another win.
Yeah, and it's going to be close. I think really it's really going to come down to Tampa Bay being able to have all that rest, but it's a long road ahead for Tampa now with the rest of the season. Uh, Ravens and Titans are playing. Ravens going into Nashville. Um, Baltimore's favored by 4 in this one. Look, both these teams' offenses are horrible. I think the Ravens' defense is a lot better, so I'm going to take the Ravens in this one. I don't believe in Lamar. He's been horrible so far this year, but I can't put any faith into Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, and actually, I think this game is the London game this week, if I remember correctly. I think
Yes,
that
that
the
is
Ravens and
correct.
Titans. Yeah, so they're both going to be having to deal with the jet lag and you know the different time zone playing. So see which team can adjust better. But I think the Ravens as well are probably going to win this. Definitely the better team in my opinion. Tennessee, yeah, like you said, can't trust Ryan Tannehill, but Lamar, he's been shaky so far this year as well.
Yeah, their offense just hasn't been able to really do anything. So uh, I could see this one going either way, honestly. Uh, Washington and Atlanta will play. Atlanta's favorite at favorite by 2.5. They're at home. Uh, I think this is going to be a game. I'm going to take actually Washington in this one. I don't believe Atlanta's as good as they are. They have 3 pretty fluky wins, if you ask me. I mean, Washington's coming off a bad loss against the Bears. I know that's embarrassing, but I just have a little bit more faith right now in the Commanders than I do the Falcons.
Yeah, I think this one's kind of a toss up. I think it goes either way. I feel like both these teams are up and down. Like one week they'll play great, the next week they'll play like horrible. So really just depends who's on. I'm kind of with you though. I think Washington definitely has a bounce back after being embarrassed by the Bears on last Thursday night. They have a little bit more rest coming into this week. I'm going to go with them.
Yeah, that's right. They did play on Thursday, so yeah, they have some extra rest, and yeah. Seattle off the bye week is going into Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored by 2.5 on this one. I'm taking Seattle though. They're a potential playoff team. I know Cincinnati bounced back last week, but look, Seattle's been rolling, and Cincinnati, man, they're still not playing 100%. Something's wrong in that locker room, I think, or at least just coaching. I don't know what's wrong exactly. I know Joe Burrow is still kind of working through that calf injury. But that said, Seattle's offense is really really good, and they're coming off the bye week, so I think they take this one.
Man, this is another one that I think is really close. That I think it's gonna come down to one possession game for sure. I want to roll with the Bengals, man. I think I'm going to. I think that Seattle is great. They probably do have the better team right now, but I think the Bengals they have to get rolling, man. Can't take another loss. I think that Chase is going to have another huge game like he did last week, and I think the Bengals at home take this one. But again, super close. Wouldn't be shocked seeing Seattle win this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Cincinnati won this one either. But I just think, Seattle coming off the bye week, that's going to help them a lot. They're a lot more rested than Cincinnati, and they're still working through a lot of injuries. That said, if Jamar Chase goes off like he did last week, then yeah, Cincinnati could easily win this one. Uh, Indianapolis going down into Jacksonville. Jacksonville's a 4-point favorite in this one. Jacksonville traveling back from London. Anthony Richardson's on IR now, so he's going to be out for the next at least 4 games for Indianapolis. So that means Gardner Minshew's at the helm, which, Gardner Minshew isn't a bad quarterback by any means. He's just not that level of Anthony Richardson. I think Jacksonville wins this one. I know they're coming back from London, but they came back, basically right after that game last weekend. So I think they've had a little bit of time at least to adjust back. This I think is going to be a one possession game, like Vegas thinks, but I think Jacksonville ends up winning this one.
Yeah, I got Jacksonville too. Yeah, coming back home, we'll see how they adjust. But yeah, Indy, no Richardson. I think that they definitely slow down here moving forward. But I think that it will be somewhat close. But I'm gonna go Jacksonville here.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game. I think the Colts are they have a much better record than I think really anyone thought they would at this point in the season. 3 wins already. It's quite impressive, and I think everyone in that division has 3 wins right now, which is kind of crazy. I'd have to double check that, but yeah, it's Indianapolis has been kind of surprising to me so far to start the season, but I think no Richardson, they're gonna slow down just a little bit. Uh, Carolina is going down into Miami. Miami is a 13.5 point favorite over Carolina. The offense has been rolling for Miami. They can only win at home though, so yeah, I think Miami wins this one pretty handedly as well. The Panthers haven't been good at all on either side of the ball. Bryce Young has really struggled so far this year, but he can't see over his offensive line, so that kind of makes sense why he can't see the field.
Yeah, man, he really can. I am definitely going to go with the Dolphins here. I mean, they have easily the better team of the two here, and I don't know if it's going to be they're going to slaughter them, but Panthers, if they don't have it, Bryce Young is just not it, and like you said, man, can't even see the field. I do think though the Panthers are going to get a win this year. I don't think they're going to go 0 for 17. I definitely feel like they are probably going to be, one of the bottom teams, though. But yeah, Miami just takes care of business here. Just too good.
Look, they hung up 70 on Denver, and Denver has at least a win. Could we see Miami hang up another 70-point game? That's what I want to know from you. I think they can.
Yeah, man, I think so too. I think that Carolina will. I feel like Carolina's defense is a little bit better than Denver's. They're kind of on the same level though. So as long as Brian Burns doesn't go crazy on the edge, I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think we're on 70-point watch again though for Miami. Divisional game, Minnesota in Chicago, playing the Bears. They are a 3-point favorite in this one. Look, both teams are 1-4. Someone's going to finally get a leg up on the other for last place in the division. I think it's going to be Minnesota. They have they have better everything. I think better offense, better defense. Um, just they don't have Justin Fields. So I think Minnesota takes care of business. I think it will be close because this is a toilet bowl game. But I'm gonna take Kirk Cousins actually winning a game.
Yeah, I think the Vikings win too. Yeah, no Justin Jefferson. He's out 4 to 6 weeks with injury here, so that will definitely hurt their offense. But they still just got too many other offensive weapons to not win this game. I think Chicago actually plays somewhat decent. I think that they keep it close. I don't think they get blown out by Minnesota, but Minnesota is definitely going to take this one.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one. It's the toilet bowl of the week, I think. Looking at all the rest of the games, it's definitely the toilet bowl of the week. So, Minnesota. I forgot. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's out, so that definitely hurts Minnesota's offense a bit. But they have a lot more weapons still besides him, so I think that they win this one. Niners are on the road against the Browns. They're favored by 9.5. I'm taking the Niners. I know the Browns have been pretty good to start the season. They're coming off the bye week, which I think definitely helps their case a little bit. But I mean, the Niners are just a freight train. They have the best defense in the country right now, and Brock Purdy can dink and dunk all day on this Browns defense.
Yeah, man, 49ers are winning this one. Again, I don't see me picking against them this year until they lose. Like, they are just so good, man. They are incredible on both sides. They have so many weapons on offense, and defense is so good as well. The Browns, I don't think, are going to be the team to beat them this year, so I'm definitely going the 49ers.
Yeah, it's I don't see them losing to the Niners. Not to the Niners, to the Browns. They're just, I mean, no way. I mean, their defense is so elite, and any quarterback can be good in that offense. So Brock Purdy is going to get the job done. New Orleans going into Houston. New Orleans just a 1.5 point favorite here. I'm going to take Houston in this one. Besides last week, CJ Stroud has been really, really good so far. The Saints have overperformed quite a bit. They did drop the ball against a pretty bad Green Bay team, blowing a 17-point lead. But, yeah, I think Houston wins this one. It's going to be a very close game still. But, home field advantage for Houston. I think that probably gives them a little bit of help. Probably not a whole lot, but just enough to give them the edge here.
Yeah, I'm going the Texans as well. Shocking to say, I would not have thought at this point in the year I would be picking the Texans. But, yeah, the Saints just, they beat up on a poor Patriots team last week. So, not really too impressive. And, like you said, with the Green Bay loss, they're just another team like Washington. They're just up and down all the time, it feels like. So, really don't know what to expect with them. CJ Stroud has been super solid. I think that the Texans sneak this one out.
Yeah, I also don't trust road Derek Carr a whole lot, so there's that to consider as well. New England's going into Las Vegas. Las Vegas is favored by 2.5. Look, both these teams are horrible. They are fucking terrible. I think the Patriots are worse here. I think Vegas wins this one. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a low-scoring, boring game. Not because the defenses are good, but just because the offenses are bad. It's Jimmy G's a lot better of a quarterback than Mac Jones. Bill Belichick has been horrible ever since Brady left, which is just telling you more and more. It was all Brady. I think the Raiders win this one, just barely though.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's going to be very similar to the Monday night game they had with Green Bay, where it's just low scoring, like 17-13 final. I think that the Patriots are just, they just don't have it right now. I mean, I could see them possibly making a big trade or something to try and turn something around, but Christian Gonzalez is out for them. Mac Jones is just not it. Belichick looks horrible. So Patriots just look awful right now.
Yeah, I think if honestly if Bill Belichick isn't retiring at the end of the year, because I don't think he's gonna get fired. Um, he's done too much for that organization to get fired. But yeah, I think he should either be forced to retire or he should just put it up himself because he's just not gonna do much anymore. I mean, he's 72 years old. There's not much time left for him coaching. Arizona goes into LA. The Rams are favored by 7 in this one. Um, I'm gonna take the Rams. The Cardinals have been horrible. Um, they did beat Texas, not Texas, but they did beat Dallas. So that's always a good thing. But yeah, I just Kyler or not Kyler Murray, but Josh Dobbs, he ain't it. Stafford's been performing fairly well so far. Is Cooper Kupp back? That's I don't know if he's back or not.
Yeah, he's back.
Okay, so yeah, LA's definitely gonna win this one. Then I think yeah, their offense is a lot better, and Arizona's defense also blows.
Yeah, the Rams are definitely going to win this one. Cardinals, I guess, have been a little bit better than I thought they would be this year. I mean, they've had leads in games, which I'm shocked about, but the Rams are just a little bit better, and the Rams are actually playing better this year than I thought. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, that's a super solid 1-2. Stafford is, of course, solid, but always dealing with some injuries right now, but I think he'll be all right in this game, and I think the Rams will win this.
That said, obviously the Rams have both Nakua and uh, Cooper Kupp. I wonder though if they drop this game to Arizona, and they also lose next week, are they going to sell it at the deadline? That's kind of where I think the Rams are in a interesting spot because if they do lose this game, I think they will start selling. Possibly could see Cooper Kupp on the move. What do you think on that?
Yeah, I think so too. I remember we kind of talked about that. It was definitely one of the earlier episodes about maybe it was during a blitz, and we were talking about if the Rams would be sellers, and I think so as well. I think Cooper Kupp, even Aaron Donald, and maybe some other guys could be moved at the deadline or even in the off season.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if they will sell at the deadline, which is only a couple weeks away. So, which will be a pretty interesting deadline to say the least. Philly goes into New York, or I guess New Jersey, to play the Jets. They're favored by 7 in this one. Look, I think this is going to be a pretty close game. The Jets' defense is really good. Philly's offense hasn't been performing that well lately. They've really the last 2 weeks haven't really looked as solid. Almost losing a couple games. They almost lost to Washington. I think Philly wins this one, but I think this is going to be a much closer game than just a touchdown.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Philly's, they've been having a lot of close games. I think they definitely will still have that again with the Jets. The Jets defense can definitely hold Philly somewhat, I would say. It's just the Jets offense isn't going to be able to score, so we'll see how they do.
Yeah, it'll be a very very good game to say the least. Yeah, the Jets offense just can't really do a whole lot. The Eagles defense is, obviously one of the top defenses in the league right now. I don't think they're obviously top 3, but maybe a top 5 defense. But yeah, this is going to be a pretty interesting game. The other New York team, the Giants, goes to play Buffalo. Buffalo's favored by 14.5 in this one. That just tells you how bad the Giants are. Now the Bills are coming off a tough loss, but they were in London. The jet lag was still affecting them. I think the jet lag is going to affect them a little bit this week, but they're still going to blow the doors off the Giants. The Giants' offensive line is the worst in the league right now. I mean, you got guys blocking John Cena out there. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, Evan Neal, the future Whopper Flopper in the house, man. Just awful. Definitely the Bills are going to win this one. You know, possibly blowing them out. I mean, the Giants just have no way of scoring on offense or defense. They're just awful all around.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants' offense is so bad. Evan Neal literally is blocking John Cena out there. Like I don't know what he's seeing out there. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Giants' defense also blows. So yeah, I think while the Bills, I don't think their offense will roll as much. I think this is still going to be a blowout. But um, coming back from London, I think that's still going to affect them slightly. But yeah, and then Monday night, Dallas on the road against the Chargers. Dallas is a 2-point favorite in this one. They're coming off, obviously, a very embarrassing loss last week to the 49ers. LA's coming off of the bye week. Yeah, I want to pick the Chargers just out of spite because I really hate the Cowboys. But this seems like the kind of game that Brandon Staley will somehow find a way to lose.
Yep, and guarantee the Chargers will go up and have the lead at some point and somehow find a way to lose this game. So I'm taking the Cowboys. I've seen it many of times. Chargers, again, especially against teams that are at least somewhat competent, have trouble closing out games. So I think that the Cowboys win this one. We'll see, though.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, I think LA's going to have a pretty decent lead and choke it away because that's just what they do. Because Brandon Staley, defensive genius, is a he's gonna figure out a way to lose this game, is what I mean. So that wraps up this weekend's slate of the NFL games. Moving on to college football now. Indiana is on the road in Michigan. Michigan's a 33-point favorite. Michigan's playing elite level football the last 2 weeks, blowing the doors off Nebraska and beating the living shit out of Minnesota last week. I think they're going to do that with Indiana this week. They're going to just fucking ragdoll them. I live here in Indianapolis, right? And I heard someone on the sports network before the season started say that Indiana's going to go into the big house and upset Michigan. I'm like, dude, you are smoking crack because there's no way in hell that's happening.
Yeah. That is, not happening. One interesting thing, though, about Indiana that I didn't even know is for any wrestling fans out there, Vince McMahon's grandson, so Shane McMahon's son, is the running back on Indiana. I did not know that until recently, so that's the only thing I know about Indiana right now. But other than that, they're going to get their ass kicked. Michigan's going to handle the business.
I did not know that either. That's interesting, though. Number 1, Georgia on the road in Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, the MAC school. Georgia's favored by 31.5 in this one. I think Georgia finally covers again. Vanderbilt's garbage, and Georgia's, they got the best passing offense in the country right now. So yeah, I think Georgia wins this one very handedly, and they cover that 31.5.
Yeah, Georgia's got this. I mean, it's Vanderbilt. I mean, yeah, they're done.
Yeah, it's Vanderbilt should not be in the SEC, man. They're so bad. Ohio State on the road in Purdue. Ohio State's favored by 19 points in this one. But that said, they haven't been playing very good football lately. Both these teams. And Purdue always gives Ohio State a little bit of trouble.
It's true.
So I'm going to roll with Purdue getting the upset this week. I don't know if it's really going to happen, but I am praying to Jesus that it will, because I want the memes. Fuck Ohio State. And, but honestly, I think Ohio State probably will win this one, but I think this is going to be a pretty close game because it is Purdue, and they, for some reason, have Ohio State's number.
Yeah, You are right about Purdue having Ohio State's number. They do seem to be the team that upsets them a lot, but I don't know if I can do it, man. I don't really trust this Purdue team this year. I just Ohio State I feel like is going to win, but I would love to see Purdue with the upset. That would be so good, man.
Oh, dude, I would cream myself if Purdue won this game. I mean, oh man, that'd be awesome. Florida State is hosting Syracuse. They're favored by 17 and a half. Syracuse hasn't been the greatest really lately in the past couple of years. Florida State's been rolling. They've struggled the last couple of weeks. I think this week they finally get it back right. They're gonna beat Syracuse, I think. I don't know if they cover that 17 and a half though. Syracuse has been at least fairly competent this year, so it's gonna be a little bit closer. I think it's probably maybe at the very most a 2 touchdown win for Florida State.
I think Florida State rolls through this one, man. I think that they, like you said, bounce back, and I think they will cover the spread. I think they're going to have a nice explosive offensive game.
Yeah, I mean, if they do, great. I mean, I can see them, covering this, but at the same time, I can see them not covering at all. So it'll be interesting to say the least. But yeah, Florida State definitely needs to, bounce back after a few tough weeks. Arkansas on the road into Bama. Bama favored by 19 and a half. Look, I, as we all know by now, Mike and I both hate Bama, and we want to see Bama lose every single game this year. That said, I don't think Arkansas is going to beat Bama. I think Bama is going to blow them out pretty bad here. I mean, Arkansas is just horrible. And I know Bama isn't that good this year, but yeah, I really want to see Bama lose this one. I would love it, but there's just no way.
Yeah, Bama's going to win this one. If they were going to lose a game, it was the Texas A&M game, and Texas A&M didn't do it, so I don't think that they are going to lose this one.
Yeah, there's just no way. I think Texas A&M was probably their best, I guess, chance at losing a game. Cal goes into Utah. Utah's favored by 11 and a half. Look, Utah's been kind of struggling since after week one. They have a ton of injuries they're fighting through. Still no Cam Rising, which definitely hurts. I saw a joke the other day. It was a Utah's injured list could probably win a natty. That's just how beat up. I mean, they barely have any starters actually starting this week. So yeah, but I think Utah wins this one. I think it's going to be a pretty close game, though. I mean, you're playing majority second stringers on both sides of the ball. I mean, it's not looking good for Utah.
Yeah, I definitely see that Utah has a lot of the injuries, but I do think that they win this game against, they have an 11-point spread here, so with the injuries, it's tough, but I definitely feel like they are going to roll past Cal here.
Yeah, it's. I mean, Cal is not really anything anymore, especially. But yeah, it's just Utah's so banged up, man. It's just gonna be tough for Utah these next few weeks still. Penn State's hosting UMass. They're a 41.5 point favorite in this one. UMass comes in 1-6. Look, Penn State's defense I still think is one of the best, if not the best, in the country right now. UMass is basically a MAC school. They're just fucking horrible. I think Penn State wins this one. I'm pretty sure they also cover because UMass literally cannot do anything offensively.
Yeah, I mean, when you're 1-6, you don't have a good chance, man. Penn State's going to for sure win the game. Cover, not sure, but like you said, the defense is one of the best in the country, so I think that they'll definitely have a good shot of running this score up.
Yeah, I think after the first half, Penn State won't even play a single starter to even start the third quarter. That's how big of a lead they're going to have over UMass. Big Ten, Pac-12 matchup. Number 8 Oregon on the road in Washington. Washington just a 3-point favorite. This is definitely game of the week.
Game of the week for
Um,
sure.
Look, I don't know if I can trust Road Bo Nix in this one. I think I'm going to go Washington. Their offense has been incredible so far. Penix, I think, is the Heisman favorite right now. I mean, that dude is incredible. I don't know. This is going to be a very, very close game. I think it's going to come down to like a last second field goal or touchdown to win this game.
I think so too, man. I think I'm gonna go with Washington as well. But man, this is just a toss up, man. I mean, Oregon is very good. Washington does have the home field advantage. Penix is definitely the better of the two. I prefer Penix over Bo Nix. So I'm going to go with Washington, but I think it is going to be one that comes down to the last seconds here. It's going to be close.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the best games this entire weekend. I mean, it's a top 10 matchup. It's a rivalry in a way. It's a future Big Ten matchup too. It's a Pac-12 matchup right now, but man, this is gonna be a really fun game to watch. I'm gonna be eyes glued to this one for sure. But yeah, I think Washington just barely sneaks it out. Texas A&M on the road to Tennessee. Tennessee just a 3-point favorite in this one. I'm not a believer in either of these teams. That said, I think Tennessee has a slightly better offense than Texas A&M does. I'm going to take Tennessee in this one. I think they also cover. Texas A&M just blows, and I don't believe in Tennessee at all. But I think they just pull out the win here. They take care of business.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Tennessee. I think this is another one that is close. But Texas A&M, man, definitely disappointing last week, and I definitely feel Tennessee is a little bit better of a team, so go with them.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I can't trust Texas A&M at all to beat any ranked team right now. And while I don't believe in Tennessee all that much, I think they have a slightly better team. Number 23 Kansas on the road in Oklahoma State. Kansas favored by just 3 in this one. I think they win this one. I think they cover as well. Oklahoma State has not been putting up a lot of good performances so far this year. Kansas, they hung in with Texas for a while when they played, and yeah, I think I think they cover in this one. Kansas has been really good offensively, defensively not so much, but I think they handle business against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Kansas. Well, it's shocking to say that they're actually not too bad in football this year. I'm used to them being more basketball, but I definitely feel like they're a little bit better. Oklahoma State hasn't been too great, even though I think they started. Was Oklahoma State ranked at the start of the year? I think so.
No, they were not.
No. Okay, maybe I'm thinking of last season then. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Kansas here.
Yeah, I think just Kansas has a better team overall, and yeah, it is kind of weird because normally Kansas has a basketball school, not a football school, but they're building something there football wise, man. They've on the last 2 years now they've come up and have been ranked. They were ranked last year and they're ranked this year right now. Number 14 Louisville on the road in Pitt. Pitt's fucking horrible. Louisville's favored by 7.5. I'm taking Louisville, and they're gonna cover. Pitt is dog shit right now, man. And Louisville has been playing really, really, really good ball as of late. So yeah, I'm taking Louisville and the points.
Yeah, I think so too. Louisville with the big win over Notre Dame. They definitely are the better team here. They're gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah. Arizona on the road to Washington State. Washington State coming off I think they lost last week. Yeah, they lost to UCLA. That said, Washington State's offense has been really good. Arizona hung in there with USC though, so I think this is going to be a pretty close game. I think Washington State's a better team than USC. So I don't know if it's. I doubt it goes to overtime like it did last week with USC and Arizona. But I still think it's going to be a close game. Arizona's been fairly competitive this year. But yeah, I think Washington State pulls out the win on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Washington State as well. Arizona, like you said, almost beat USC last week, but Washington State just got the better team of the two.
Yeah. Auburn on the road to LSU. LSU's favored by 11 in this one. I'm taking LSU. Auburn blows. Peyton Thorne is, I mean, as a Sparty fan just how bad he is. But yeah, LSU's offense is really good. Their defense is what's cost them their two losses this year. But that said, Auburn's offense is terrible. So yeah, going LSU.
Yeah, LSU's just better, man. They've played better teams, and they're just the better team. I mean, just flat out, um they definitely got this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. I think LSU blows the doors off of Auburn though. I mean, Auburn's offense can't move the ball. USC on the road to Notre Dame. It's a night game again for Notre Dame. They've been playing for 7 weeks now, mostly at night. Look, I don't believe in I think USC finally loses. I think this is going to be a very close game. But man, I don't want to pick Notre Dame just because I know. Look, they lost to Louisville last week. They looked exhausted. They looked beat up. That said, USC's defense is fucking horrendous. So I think this is gonna be either a blowout by USC or it's just gonna be a barely win by Notre Dame. I see it going one of two ways, and those are the only two ways I see it going. But I'm going to lean towards Notre Dame in this one. I know they're exhausted, but man, I just can't trust USC's defense in this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be close, man. I think Notre Dame definitely has potential. I just think USC's offense will take care of business. I know their defense isn't great, but I think that USC and Caleb Williams will take care of Notre Dame. But it's been tough for Notre Dame. They've been playing all those night games. But yeah, I would love to see Notre Dame. I think I like Notre Dame better as a program than USC. But yeah, I think USC takes it.
Yeah, like I said, it can go either way. USC's defense just blows. So I think if Notre Dame had a week of rest before this game, they'd probably easily win this one. But it's just so hard to do what Notre Dame's been doing. Another top 25 matchup: Miami on the road in North Carolina. UNC's only favored by 3.5 in this one. Miami obviously with the big fuck up in the last few seconds of that game against Georgia Tech to lose it. That said, UNC has been really rolling so far to start the year. Drake May has been really good. I think Miami takes their second loss in a row here.
Yeah, I think so too. UNC is just a better team, and Miami, man, they just have no game management, especially after that loss last week.
Mario Cristobal, man, he was last week's dumbass of the week, that's for sure. Missouri on the road to Kentucky. Kentucky only favored by 2.5 in this one. That said, I think Missouri actually wins this one. They've been pretty good so far. I think Missouri gets themselves back into the top 25 after this weekend, and they will beat Kentucky.
Yeah, I think this is another really close matchup. I think I'm going to roll with Missouri as well. I mean, I know Kentucky's favored here, but like you said, Missouri's hungry to get back in that top 25, and Kentucky, I don't really believe in them much. And I remember we were joking about them upsetting Georgia, and I had no faith in that happening. I don't really think Kentucky's that great, so I'm going to go with Missouri.
Right, and the reason why Kentucky's even ranked is because they beat a ranked Florida team, or a team that was ranked anyways, that shouldn't have been ranked because they beat Tennessee, who is, like I said, not that good. Yeah, I don't have any faith in Kentucky, and last week was just embarrassing for them. But Missouri's been playing really good ball. So yeah, I think Missouri bounces back after losing to LSU, and they go ahead and get the W here on the road. UCLA on the road, they go down into Corvallis to play Oregon State, another top 25 matchup. Oregon State's favored by 3.5. UCLA coming off a big win last week. I think they keep winning, and they're going to beat Oregon State uh, on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with UCLA as well. But I mean, this is another toss-up game. I could see Oregon State winning, but I do think UCLA is just a little bit better. But again, could go either way.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is UCLA's offense is really good, and Oregon State's defense is really bad. So yeah, I think you have that matchup, and then you look at Oregon State's offense versus UCLA's defense. I would obviously think Oregon State's offense can move the ball for sure against UCLA's defense, but I think UCLA can get a couple key stops and will end up winning this game. And then lastly, number 17 Duke hosts NC State. Duke only favored by 3 in this one. They're down their starting quarterback. But I think Duke does win this one. I think it's going to be a little bit closer, just because, again, they don't have their starting quarterback now, who was, a very key player in their success early on this season. So yeah, I think Duke wins, but just barely on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Duke. Just better team. They're ranked. Not much belief in NC State to win this one, so I'm gonna go with Duke.
Yeah, I think we could see a potential upset in this one, but it's gonna be very, very, very tight. So that wraps up the top 25. We're just going to touch Michigan State right now. I know you don't want to hear this. Oh, but the line's moved. Rutgers opened up as a 7-point favorite over Michigan State. Michigan State on the road in this one. But now that line's moved to just 4.5. So I think there might be some injuries on Rutgers' side, which is why that line moved down to 4.5 from 7. But man, I hate to do it. I hate to do it. I really hate to do it. But Rutgers is gonna win this one.
Man, that's how you know Michigan State is in the gutter right now, man. When Rutgers is favored against you, freaking Rutgers, man, the bottom of the conference, man. I hope MSU pulls this out. I actually got a small bet that MSU can at least cover the spread. But yeah, man, I hope State wins, but man, Rutgers. When you open up as a 7-point dog to Rutgers, man, you're bad. You're just a bad team.
Yeah, you know your team is bad when you open up as a 7-point dog to Rutgers. But that said, Rutgers has actually been fairly good this year, man. They're one of the top defenses against the run this year, which not a lot of people thought would happen. I kind of saw that coming. Last year they were top 25 against the run, and right now I think they're 7th against the run. And Michigan State's offensive line blows. It's literally MAC caliber. You could line up that offensive line against and compare it to like Eastern Michigan, and you could almost say that Eastern Michigan's offensive line is better. That's how bad they are. But yeah, that wraps up this weekend's top 25. Plus, for our local people, Michigan State's matchup for this weekend. We're gonna real quickly just kind of discuss. I want your thoughts. Who, in this top 25 right now, do you think legitimately could contend for the Natty this year?
So there's a few teams for sure. I think just of the top teams, I think, of course, Georgia and Michigan. I do think Ohio State, but I do think Michigan will beat Ohio State, Penn State as well. Again, just those 3 teams kind of circling Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. Depending on how the games go, I think I'll have a chance. I think Washington, if they come out with this big win against Oregon, has a good chance. But Who else? I think Florida State could still be in here. Texas could come back, win the Big 12 title. I would say those are probably the biggest contenders so far.
Yeah, I think obviously, I think Michigan and Georgia are locks for the playoffs for sure. Um, you know, they've been. I mean, Michigan the last 2 weeks have been playing elite level football. Georgia last week finally played elite level football. Um, things are coming together for both these teams now. So I think they're definitely a lock right now. That said, I don't think Ohio State's even going to make the playoff this year. I think if any other Big Ten school is going to make that playoff this year, it's going to be Penn State. I don't know if they can really contend for that natty, but I think there's a chance at least, right? But OU's ranked number 5 right now. I don't think they're going to stay in a top 10 for much longer, though. I mean, they just aren't that good. Yes, they got the upset win against Texas, but I just don't see them staying in this top 10. At least definitely not the top 5. But yeah, I think Washington has a very good chance. Same with Oregon. I think the winner of this game between Washington and Oregon this week is definitely a big contender for for the Natty. That said, if whoever wins, if they are not top 5 or top 4 even after this week, I think I'm going to be very upset because that is. I mean, it's a top 10 matchup. It's a top 10 win, and it's I think definitely the best win of the season for any team. So I think both these teams really could, but I think the winner of it is definitely going to be a contender. I think Texas definitely could still, if they win the Big 12 and some things happen and they get into the playoffs, they could definitely contend as well. I think Michigan has the best chance though, and that's not just me as being a Michigan fan, but it's the only he'd be the only quarterback to have ever even been in the playoffs for college football, and I think that experience will definitely help Michigan in the playoffs at the very least. So that would definitely help. Outside of that, though, I don't really see anyone else being able to contend. Maybe Florida State, like you mentioned, but yeah, Ohio State definitely not. So we have our ALCS series. It is the Battle of Texas. The Rangers and the Astros will play for the American League title. And just a quick little score update. Phillies and Braves right now are tied at the top of the 5th. Philly leads that series 2-1 right now. But listen, man, we got to talk about the Dodgers.
The
They
Dodgers.
they choke again in the playoffs.
Yep, not even a single win. I actually saw a graphic earlier today. It was the top 5 regular season teams by record were 1-12 in the playoffs this year. Like, just awful, man. So the Dodgers, Baltimore, Tampa Bay, the Brewers, and who else was at the top? Atlanta. Atlanta was the only team with a win of the top teams.
Yeah, it's
crazy, man.
these look. Baseball is the land of underdogs. Like 99% of the time, you should probably bet the underdog to win any game, just because that's just how baseball is. I mean, the playoffs are so unpredictable. Look, if Philly wins this game, man, and the division winners went out and basically just blew it all, you would have 2 wins from division winners in the divisional series. You would have Minnesota and Atlanta just with 1 win each. Everything else, I mean, everyone else didn't even win. But the Dodgers, yet again, man, just can't do anything in the playoffs, and it really is the meme at this point. And to make a hockey reference, they're basically the Toronto Maple Leafs of baseball.
Yeah, basically, man. All regular season, no playoffs.
And that's what it is. I mean, it's just look, the Diamondbacks have been playing really good ball, so they're in. They get some time to rest their starters, to see, and they're waiting to see who are they playing. Are they playing Philly or are they playing Atlanta? Um, if you're Arizona, you're kind of hoping that Philly wins tonight, just because you don't want to have this series go another game, and you have more time to rest. But sometimes rest time isn't good for teams in baseball. They need to keep playing, so they're playing at a higher level. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who ends up playing. But right now we're tied in this divisional game, so we'll just have to see. And then lastly, before we wrap up here, we're going to talk a little bit of NHL. Last night, man, Edmonton had a very, very embarrassing loss, man, to Vancouver. Vancouver put up 8 goals in this one. Um, you know, it was a interesting game, to say the least. Pedersen had a goal and 3 assists in this one. He looked really good. I don't know if it was real, but I saw a screenshot of someone saying that the stars of the game, McDavid was first star with just an assist in that one, and then Besser with 4 goals and Pedersen with a goal and 3 assists were the second and third stars, which I really hope that's fake, but I wouldn't put it past the NHL to actually put McDavid as the first star, despite other guys having much better games.
Yeah, probably just a meme, I would hope. But you said Besser had 4 goals. That's insane.
Yeah, I think that was his first ever career 4-goal game. Yeah. Speaking of, hat trick watch right now. Jack Hughes has 2 goals against Detroit right now. They lead 2-1. But yeah, yesterday, man, that was just. I mean, another meme I saw from that game was the fact that what was it? Oh, it was Vancouver scored their entire goal total for the year in that one game.
Yeah.
which was quite funny. Bedard last night had his first goal as well. It was a wraparound goal, but you showed that. I think you showed us that graphic. They already showed Bedard the graphic, 1 goal to Gretzky's 894. Like, come on, man. Look, he's a really good player, but come on now. You can't really show that graphic right now. You can show it about Ovi though, because he actually has a chance to do something and pass Gretzky, but saying right now, showing the goal watch at his first goal, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, man, they're glazing right now, man. They're glazing them, man.
Yeah, it's just what are we doing, man? Like, I get it, but come on, man. This is just, what are we doing? But yeah, I think that really wraps it all up. You know, as a Wings fan, it's kind of disappointing right now to see that we're losing to New Jersey, but it is New Jersey. They're a really good team. So yeah. That said, rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Help us out. Let us know, what you want to hear from us. And yeah, Mike, you got anything else?
Yeah, just we've been really consistent here lately. Definitely be sure to drop a follow. Rate, review, subscribe. Get the word out there. We've been consistent, like I said. Just trying to get ourselves more out there.
Nailed it, man. Just we're staying consistent with this Tuesday, Thursday stuff, and Yeah. So thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next Tuesday with our weekend review.